Yeah, one of our
Okay, good.
my colleague lives out here, Kim
Who's it?
Johnston.
Oh,
She said there's some issue with the water pumping.
they're putting the prices up.
Oh. Okay,
Right-
so
right
easy.
now. Okay,
Your first name, last name, spelled.
Rolly Ashdown, ROLLYASHDOWN.
Right, Rolly. I keep calling you Rolly.
That's okay. Where do you want me looking?
Just at me.
Okay.
So, and what should I call you as? What's
Rolly?
your? No, I mean, what's your title? Like, are you a candidate yet, or how?
Well, why don't you, do you want to start rolling it? Maybe
Yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah. What do you? How are you coming out in your press release anyway?
I'm not sure if coming out's the right term, but the thing is that there's going to be a candidate in this area,
Right.
and what it is it's called the Bow River Conservative Association that I'm associated with. Now, the Bow River Conservative Association is made up of the south part of Crowfoot, the east part of McLeod, and the west part of Medicine Hat ridings. It's a brand new riding. They're adding 6 in Alberta. And so when you have a new one, you have to pick a candidate at a point in time. The Conservative Party issues a candidate race, I suppose would be the best thing to call it, where anybody who's interested in becoming the candidate in the area puts their name in, and then at a point in time there becomes a 45-day window where they go from start to finish to choose a candidate for the area. Once they announce that, then whoever's interested submits an application to the Conservative Party. They then have 2 weeks to accept that application. Now, during that time, if anybody wants to buy memberships from their chosen candidate, they can do that, and then they become Conservative Party members. The important part of that is that you must have been a Conservative Party member for 21 days before you're able to vote for the candidate. So you got a 45-day window, you got a 2-week application period, and then only party members can vote for the candidate. And I got a lot of people that I know in the area that would love to vote for me to be the candidate, and I want them to be party members so that I become that candidate. I think I'd have a pretty good chance. This is quite a conservative riding.
Right. So would you be asking them to sign up right now?
You know, if anybody wants to become a member of the party, they're certainly welcome to. They can go to conservative.ca and sign on online.
Right.
They could give us a check if they'd like. They can sign on for either 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 5 year. 5 years is a deal.
Yeah.
It's the same price as 4 years. And so what I'm going to be doing in the next little while, and since I'm with the County of Rocky View, I have a little bit of a break in the summertime, so I'm going to use that break to go around and visit some people, find out what they want as far as in their federal candidate. I want to make sure that I'm able to provide what it is that they're looking for. Then if they buy a membership vote from me, hopefully I can become their candidate in the future.
So what is your current position?
Well, currently I'm a councillor at Rockview County. I was the Reeve of Rockview County for 3 years. As Reeve, I wouldn't have had the time to do this, but as councillor, I do. So that's what I am right now. Also, previous to that, I was on Kevin Sorensen's board for the Crowfoot Conservative Association. And so I found myself, I really enjoy it, and I like their platform. I like everything they stand for. And so once the new one came along, of course I signed up for that. That was in November of last year, and I was elected as president of that. So currently, I guess I'm president of the Bow River Conservative Association. However, in becoming a candidate, you can't be the president of the association. So I've had to step down from that role. So now I'm going into candidacy mode, I guess, is what it is.
So at this point in time, the party hasn't said, great, come aboard. That process hasn't happened. You're just you're announcing your intentions to run.
My intentions is what I'm explaining right now.
Yeah.
Now, once I become a candidate, if that's the case, they have to accept my 45-page application. And there's going to be a lot more people that want to become candidates too. This area is very conservative, and I think a lot of people will see this as a direct conduit into Ottawa. You know, so I take it a little bit more serious than that. I've been working at it for a long time. I've been in politics for a while now, so I really enjoy working with people, and I want to find out what it is that they want changed in federal politics, and I want to find out, you know, how their policies and the conservative policies mix together, and if there's any changes or enhancements due. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So, right at this point in time, do you know who's all running?
Well, there's myself.
Right.
There's a fellow named Rob Anders.
Okay. So, and you met with him?
You know, I had lunch with him last Monday, and he came to our last board meeting, And so I've met him a few times. You know, he has intentions of running in this area, is what I've heard. And I asked him, I said, can I say you are? And he said, well, you can say I'm interested. And so that's about as far as I'm able to tell you that he's doing right now. But, I mean, he's a controversial candidate. And one of the things that he adds to the area is he gets a lot of news people going. And maybe that's why you're here, I don't know.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've noticed is that I got a call from National Post yesterday. I've never spoken to the National Post in my life. So I think the newsworthy part of this is not me running as a candidate. It's Rob Anders thinking that he might.
Right.
You know, so I saw the interview, and it's interesting. The idea is interesting.
Yeah.
I would never discourage anybody from running in the area. I'm hoping that we have 5 or 6 good candidates that run in the area, and I want to give people a really good bunch of people to choose from. I hope I'm the right one, and if I am, then great. If I'm not, I'll accept that as well.
Okay, so a couple of things. So I also read that the Mayor Brooks, or former mayor?
Martin Shields,
Yeah,
he's the current mayor of Brooks,
Yeah.
and he has intentions as well.
Yeah. So, first of all, why do you want to run?
Well, again, I believe in the Conservative platform. I believe in their policies. I enjoy politics. I like being in municipal politics. I find it challenging. And when you actually accomplish things, it's a very rewarding experience. So people like that, and I want to keep doing that. So if I can step up to the next level, it's perfect for me.
Okay. And as far as, okay, now looking at the race overall, so obviously if Rob Anders does run, like, do you think that will detract from the race or add to it, or?
Well, it'll get us more publicity, you know. Whether it detracts or adds, I'm not really sure. If he's the kind of guy that people want here, I guess they'd have to vote for him. But if he's not, they'll have some other choices. And if they make those other choices, then that tells who runs. The other thing is, once you've lost the ability to run as a candidate, then you need to have special permission from the party. So he's going to require some waivers as well. And I'm imagining that he's a respected MP. He's been there for so long that he'll probably get that. But he does need some special permission to be able to run in this area.
And what do you think about, no, I'm just going by what I read in the article about some of the comments he made. Do you think that the Bow River riding community area is it's just a bunch of trucks and country? And,
well,
like, how would you describe it?
Well, he's right. There's more trucks. You know, but I suppose I come from Saskatchewan, so I'm accustomed to the truck being the primary vehicle that you use. So I found that a little bit entertaining. I mean, you know, if you're in a rural atmosphere, there's going to be more trucks. But I mean, we have there's a lot of different urban settings as well. There's Chestermere.
Ooh. Here.
I didn't anticipate that. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, they just leave it down.
It wasn't in the shot? Okay, good.
That's Rob. That scared all of us.
Yeah, it's a voodoo thing.
Yeah, so there's more than...
There's a lot of urban settings. There's Chestermere, there's Strathmore, there's Brooks. Langdon here, where we are right now, is 5,000 people. Tabor is one of the largest centers. Vulcan is the largest center. There's actually 77 different cities, towns, and hamlets in this area. So it's a really large riding. It's something I'm accustomed to. As Reeve of Rocky View County, for me to drive from one end of Rocky View to the other, it used to take about an hour and a half some days. So if I had meetings that were intermunicipal meetings, it would be 2-3 hours. So for me, I'm accustomed to it. I got 280,000 kilometers on my truck right now. A couple hundred more is not going to hurt me.
Now, any sense of when this is going to happen?
I'm thinking that it's going to happen in the fall, you know. But being a new riding, the Bow River Conservative Association does want to get its membership up a lot. So that's one of my goals, is to get a lot of good people signed up for the Conservative Party in this area. And
not that I want to beat it, because like I said, we are trying to reach Rob. But is there... Like, he's well respected for sure. I mean, he's long time serving. But he's had a few, do you call him a controversial candidate? He's had a few, you know, misspoken moments.
But when you meet with the Chinese and you wear a T-shirt that says "Free Tibet," it kind of sends a message.
Yeah.
It's, you know, to hit an area and say, you know, I like the area. There's a lot of trucks there. You know, I mean, there's some controversial things. I have never seen Mr. Anders be at a loss for words. I'm sure I'm going to be at a loss for words way more often than he is. But I think he's a friendly enough fella. I'm sure he says some of these things in jest and they get taken a little bit different. But he's a very blue conservative, which is good. And you know, anywhere he goes, I'm sure he's going to represent whoever he represents reasonably well. I would hope that people would find me just a step above that and a little bit more to their liking. If they phone me and my phone rings, I answer it instantly. I've been doing this for 4 years now. I've gone through over 20,000 emails. I've returned about 5,000 of those. Some of them are just things, people looking for things, or they want you to know things. So I've had 17 town hall meetings in my 3.5, 4 years in this business. You got to keep in touch with people, and you have to be available. That's what I bring to the table. Plus the fact that we can go through the entire policy manual, make sure that we got it right, and make whatever enhancements are due.
So a couple things there. So are you saying that he isn't available all the time?
I couldn't get a hold of him to find out if he was going to run this time, and I don't know what kind of luck you've had.
Not much. Okay. And but you said you met with him.
I had lunch with him last Monday.
Okay. Was that your work things?
Yes.
Okay. So you finally reached out to him and were able to reach him.
Yeah, we had a great lunch.
Yeah. How long did that take you to reach him?
Well, he returns calls.
Yeah. Okay. And you also mentioned that the truck comments. So, and the blue conservative. So, do you feel like you are not quite as conservative?
You know, I don't think there's varying degrees of conservative. When you're in party politics, you have a constitution you have to follow, and you have the policies that you have to follow. One of the things that I like about the Conservative Party is that the policies are able to change, and I've gone to some of the policy meetings up in Edmonton, and we had a national convention here last year. So if there's something that needs changing, you can do that at grassroots here. You join the Conservative Party, you can get involved with the board, you can make suggestions to changes to the policy. They will go in front of a policy committee, and they get considered, and that's an important thing. So if you look at all of the policies that are there and you agree with every single one of them, I suppose that's as blue as you can get, you know. If there's some that need enhancing, like seniors' ideas, or, I mean, baby boomers are coming up, and at a point in time we're not going to be able to live in the nice houses. We'll have to go somewhere different. So I'm not sure that that's something that's come in, and I think it needs a little bit of enhancement. There's some other things that need enhancement. There's 128 policies on 65 pages. So the book's pretty thick. It's going to take some time to get through, but I'm hoping to do that with all the new members that we can attract.
Right. So what is one of the things you want to look at? You mentioned the seniors.
Well, seniors, I mean, one of the demographics that's getting older is the people in the 50 to 65 year range right now. And I know at Rocky View County we're seeing some different areas that they want to put some seniors housing in. You know, it just doesn't exist as much as it should. And when you consider the percentage of the population that's coming up, and how are they going to live, who's going to be able to afford it, how's it going to work, and what's going to happen after there's a decline in that population as well. You know, so there's a lot of things to think about. We don't just think about things in the next 5 years. We've got to look at 20 and 30 years ahead and what's going to happen.
That's something that's not being looked at right now.
Well, the seniors policy is about half a page long. It probably should be 3 or 4 pages long. And just because of the time that we're in right now, you might want to look at a few different things. I mean, we stopped and had a coffee at a seniors event. It was called the Live Wires in Indus, and I discovered that I'm actually eligible to be a member, so I joined. You know, so it's kind of an interesting thing, you know. But that age population is something that has to be looked at.
Okay. Just a couple things going back. So, just so I'm clear on it, when you say you think you're, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so when you say you feel like you're a step above Rob Anders, what exactly do you mean? So I don't, you know...
Well, if I said a step above, I suppose it's just because I'm more accessible. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that I would be leaps and bounds above anybody. That's just not my way.
Right, that's what I want to clarify.
But the thing is, you know, you want to make sure that people have access to you. And the only reason that you're in politics, or anybody's in politics, is to look after people. That's the sole purpose of this entire industry. And it is an industry. I mean, you are here talking to me because somebody's started a story of something. That's not necessarily what this is about. What this is about is becoming the representative for people, listening to what they have to say, understanding what they want, and trying to provide it for them through the government that's available. And you look at municipal government, provincial government, federal government, they all have different things that they have to provide to people. They're not a business, they're not something that sells things to people, they're only there to provide people services, and that's what I want to do.
And one more thing, you mentioned that you reached out to Anders. Why?
Yes. Oh, I heard rumors that he wanted to run here.
Oh,
And so as president of the Conservative Association in this area, I wanted to find out if that was true, because a lot of people were asking me because they couldn't get a hold of him.
oh, okay. So you found out sort of. Okay, great.
We'll have a two-shot.
Two?
Quick, yeah. I like to have a shoot, and then we'll
You
get
like
the
to
other
have a
stuff.
two-shot?
I always like to have a two-shot.
Good for you.
Okay.
It's always good, because you might, after the B-roll runs out, you might want to go back, right?
Yeah,
It's always nice to have.
Thank you, Mary. You're so smart.
I won't have anything else falling down on you, sorry.
What was that? Like, how did
It was the same
Oh,
as
it's the
that thing.
nail.
It
I
just
think
the
it's
nail
just-
just didn't
When the wind
hit.
hits here, they blow it out.
So you kind of
I'm just
mentioned
gonna
it
hide that.
already, yeah. But I'll
Take
just
that off. You don't need to look
No,
anymore?
no.
Okay.
I'll just so we can keep talking. So what exactly?
How much of a two-shot do you want?
I
Want
get
us
it.
beside me?
No, no, something that we can cut from the 2 to the 1.
Okay.
So I kind of need you to sit in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what exactly would you be doing?
Is
Yeah.
this off now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The mic's you're
Okay.
not on. But
Good.
what would you be doing now for the next until you find out what happened?
Signing up people for memberships of the
Okay.
Conservative Party.
Okay.
And then we keep their names, and hopefully they vote for whoever signs them up. That's
Oh, okay.
the whole goal on candidacy is getting memberships and becoming the candidate. you
Right.
know. After that, you go into a different mode. Then it's election mode.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's please vote for me. I'm a
Right.
Conservative Party member.
Right. Right.
You know, but right now it's vote for me. I want to become the candidate in the area.
So will there be
You know,
like
so-
a process for the Wild Rose, or not the Wild Rose, but for the Liberals and
Probably.
yeah.
It's
And
it's interesting. I went to Vulcan when John Barlow was running, and he became the candidate, and then ran in the by-election.
Oh, okay.
And there was Barlow was
I'm just gonna get in front
Conservative,
of
there
you
was
for a
Liberal,
second.
there was an NDP,
Yeah, no, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Heritage Party.
Oh, okay.
Christian Heritage Party got one more vote than the NDP Party. So I don't think there's a lot of NDP.
No,
you know,
probably not.
there was about 100 out of 700 that were
Oh,
in the Liberal Party. So.
Right. Right.
But I think like Justin Trudeau brought a bunch of
Yeah.
excitement on that with the young
Right.
people. So.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. So would other parties be going through this process as well? Right
I
now?
suppose they could,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't think it's going to be something that they're going to dwell on a lot.
No. Okay. You'll just squash him like a bug. Okay.
So I got a couple of shots